Welcome, friends. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Thanks for coming to another yoga class. Hatha yoga this morning. Our focus will be a second episode of Mindset Meets Yoga. And this morning, as we begin, I'd like to say a few words about the growth mindset and how that plays out in Hatha yoga practice. For those of you who are not familiar with mindset, you can probably get the gist. If you didn't hear the last yoga class video, the mindset of growth is one in which we readily accept new challenges, in which we avoid comparing ourselves to others and find ways that we can open up to life, that we can accept and constructively use criticism, and so on and so on. Essentially, the growth mindset is the opposite of being in ego, which will make a lot of sense to you who are regular yoga practitioners. And the way that we can find that growth mindset in our yoga practice is it's actually many ways. One of them is that we can really dive into our practice and fully experience it wherever it is, however it is right now. And that may mean in a Hatha yoga practice, really engaging in the poses and finding the fullest expression of whatever pose you're in. However, it might also mean that knowing yourself and being connected to where you really are psychospiritually, emotionally, physically in any given day, that you do not engage strenuously or vigorously or with great exertion in your practice. It might mean just showing up for your practice and lying on your back, or being in devotional pose for most of the class. So really, growth mindset is based on self-knowledge. And that's what I wish for you in your practice today as you follow along, is to be fully in self-knowledge, be present to your experience, and work with that in whatever way makes sense to you, in whatever way is most likely to abet your own growth. Let's begin by bowing in, hands to heart center. Thank you so much for coming. Today's pranayama, as ever, we'll start with just a moment of assessing yourself and where you are, how you're showing up in your body and your mind this morning, and simply noticing the breath as it comes naturally in and out through the nose, through the mouth. Spread that awareness throughout the rest of the body, taking in any physical sensations that are occurring in the body. And this could mean the five senses, the taste in the mouth, the temperature of the room and how it feels on your skin, sounds from traffic outside your home or within your home, any sights if your eyes are closed. You may have a color that you see behind closed eyes, or a way that you experience the darkness that closed eyes bring. If your eyes are open, you may drink in the colors of the room that you're in. As we dive deeper and deeper into awareness, now move past the five senses and more into the state of your emotions. Your level of mental or psychic tension. Which does often show up as a bodily sensation and is nonetheless its own phenomenon. Throughout class today, you can be in a steady state of breathing, or if you notice your heart rate elevates and your breathing becomes more intense, you can also work with the following pranayama, which is a real core pranayama of yoga practice. It's the Ujjayi breath, also known as the victory breath. Start by pressing into the shins if you're kneeling, or pressing into the sits bones if you're seated cross-legged. Take in an inhale through the nose with gently sealed lips. And make this inhale last for a count of 6, maybe 8 to start. Exhale to the same even count. If you chose 6 coming in, it's 6 going out. And continue to breathe in this fashion, even in and out, maybe increasing the depth of the breath with each round of breathing. Now tune in a little more deeply. We'll add a few features to the breath. The first, a slight constriction in the throat. Which gives the breath a little bit of a noise that many say sounds like the ocean rolling in and out. Painting in the next level of detail here. Continuing to make the wave sound with a slightly constricted throat. On the inhale, turn your gaze upward inside, close lids. Looking at the third eye. Make the sound of Om to yourself. And as you exhale for an even count, feel your awareness move down and out of the body into the room. Inhale, gaze up, sound of Om. Exhale, awareness down and out the front of the body into the room. Few more rounds of breath. Last one. Bring eyes to an open position. Pressing the shins again if you're kneeling. Pressing the sits bones again. Lengthen the spine. Remember, the spine is all the way from the sacrum to the base of the skull. With a long neck, hold the breath at the top. Swallow to open the throat chakra. Exhale, release. Reach the hands forward along your mat or on your floor of your living room or where you are. Lengthen the spine again. Draw the hands back, knees underneath hips. Come into a table position. Pat the feet on the floor. Activate the hamstrings. And now figure eight the hips. As you're figure eighting the hips, touch in with the belly. Bring the navel up toward the spine. Introduce a little cat-cow-like movement in the lower back. And come back to center. Finding your base, reach up with the left hand. Up toward the ceiling. And down. Left hand up. Inhale, reach. Exhale, down. Inhale up. Exhale, down. And switch sides. Inhale up. Down. Up. Down. Up. And down. Spread out the fingers. Widen the hands a little bit. Move the knees back just a few inches. And then rotating the elbows toward each other. Come down toward the floor about a third of the way. Lengthen back through the sacrum again, bringing some tension to the abdomen. Reach forward with the crown of the head. And press back up on the table. Come down again, half the way to the floor. Remember Ujjayi breath. Up. Come down again, 2/3 the way to the floor. And all the way up. Press the hips back, the heels, lengthen spine once again, devotional pose. Come back up and reset in table. In table, reach the left leg back and the right leg forward at the same time, holding the balance while pressing into the heel and reaching with the top of the head toward the fingertips. Set things back down. Other side. Right leg moves back, left hand forward. Rotate the pinky toe of the right foot inward and down and return. Continue to breathe. Other side. Move hand and foot out at an angle. Bury the right ear toward the right bicep. And come back and down. Other side. Out on an angle. Reach, lift, breathe, and down. Tuck the toes. Raise your hips. And come up onto tippy toes. Raise the hips all the way up toward the ceiling. Dangle your neck and head yes and no. Bring the knees down. Walk the hands forward. Push the hips back. Devotional pose. Rise to table. Tuck the toes once again. Lift the hips again. Downward facing dog. Express the heels toward the floor. Pedal the feet. Walk the feet forward, in between the hands. Come all the way up to standing. Lift the hands over your head. Press the hips forward. Back bend. Inhale, press into the feet. Lift the toes. Drop your hips. Uttanasana. Ujjayi breath. Exhale the hands forward. With bent knees, drag the knuckles around from side to side. Gentle twist in the body as we continue to warm up. Bring the hands outside the feet. Lift the hips up a bit. Knees may still be quite bent. Just begin to straighten. And then bend the legs once again. Lift the heels. Crouch. Grab opposite elbows around the shins. Tuck your chin to chest and continue to lift heels. Yogic crouch. In yogic crouch, lift the belly back. Hollow it out. Place the hands down. Press the heels to the floor. Lift the hips once again. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Bring the hands to shins and come to a completely neutral spine. Long neck here. Full exhale. Inhale with a neutral spine. Come all the way to standing. Inhale, arms up. Come to a steeple grip, connecting the hands overhead. Lengthen the arms, point into pointer fingers up toward the ceiling. Bend to the right side. Inhale up and then bend to the left side. Exhale. Inhale up, bend to the right again. This time, squeeze the heels of the hands together. Lengthen the arms as much as you can. And direct the chin toward the heels of the hands. Inhale up. A little deeper on the other side as well. Find space. Notice how your mind is approaching the practice right now. Is it all about exertion, or is a little more ease and relaxation necessary? Inhale up. Perhaps it's somewhere in between. Exhale. Hands to heart center. Drop the hips once again. Bend the legs. Shift the weight back. Uttanasana. Here in Uttanasana, shift your weight to the left foot, lift the right foot, and creep back with the right foot. A modified version of Anjaneyasana here, separate the hands, reach up. Next exhale, drop the hips, lengthen the right leg, draw the left hip back. Frame the front foot with the hands. Step back with the left leg. Drop to knees first or come directly down. Shoulders in front of fingertips. Chaturanga. Land on tops of feet. Press into tops of feet. Fronts of hips. Cobra. Bhujangasana. Exhale, heart to floor. Tuck toes, rise to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk forward in between hands. Palms to shins, neutral spine. Flat back all the way to standing. Drop hands to heart center. Drop hips. Uttanasana. Spread the toes out. Hold an imaginary block between the knees. Shift weight to right foot. Raise the left and step back, hugging the hips in toward the midline. Left hip comes forward now, right hip back. Raise the arms. Anjaneyasana. Frame the front foot. Step back with the right leg. You know what's next. Chaturanga. Cobra. In Cobra, the arms are tied into the body. You might imagine you have a flashlight on the chest. You're shining it forward. Exhale down. Heart to floor. Ujjayi breath. Tuck toes. Plank. Exhale, down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Walk forward. Raise hips, palms to shins. All the way to standing, neutral spine. Arms overhead. Uttanasana. Hands to heart center. Twist left elbow to right knee. Keep the knees in the same plane. Keep the thumb, the knuckles of the thumb, in the sternum. Drop the hips back. Shift weight to right foot. Lift left. And step back. Staying in the twist. Untwist. Frame the front foot. Step back. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Tuck toes. Through plank. Down dog. Right leg in the air. Step through. One foot, then the other. Standing all the way this time. Sink hips. Uttanasana. Long arms. Spread out the fingers. Reach. Hands to heart center. Twist the right elbow to the left knee, keeping the knees in line. Lift the elbows. Shift the weight to the left foot. Inch back with ease and control. The right leg. Staying in the twist. Again, lift belly off of thigh. Unwind. Hands to floor, framing the front foot. Step back. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Walk forward. All the way to standing. Round up or flat back. Back bend. Inhale upright. Uttanasana, hands at heart center. Step back, right leg. Separate the hands, arms to cactus. Draw left hip back, right hip forward. Squeeze hips into the midline. Lift elbows. Now lift heart, back bend. Step forward. Hands up. Uttanasana. Halfway up. Uttanasana. Pressing the feet, lift heart to standing. Awkward pose. Create some tension between the palms. Lift the elbows, shift your weight back. Step back with the left leg. Make adjustments. If the front toes are gripping, loosen them up. Lift them even to activate the arch of the front foot. Draw the right hip back. Left hip forward. Separate the hands. Cactus. Next, inhale, press into both feet. Lift the heart toward the ceiling. Back bend. Check in with the mind here. What's the exertion level? How are you feeling about growth right now? Step forward. Forward fold. Palms to shins. Rise all the way to standing. Tadasana. Palms forward. We'll move into a balance sequence soon. Steady the breath. Use the Ujjayi breath or modify the Ujjayi breath to bring a longer exhale if the body's in a state of excitation. For me, I like to do balances off this big spongy mat. Helps me get a little more stability, a little more connection with the floor. If your eyes are open, close the eyes now and bring your awareness down all the way from the hara or the tantien, down from the hips, down the legs, through the feet and all the way into the floor, where you imagine when the awareness leaves the feet and goes into the floor, there's an amazing connection with the earth. A feeling of being a part of it, belonging. You might imagine a network of tendrils coming out from the feet. Moving in all directions. Getting information from the earth that they bring up through the root system into the body as they spread. Draw your awareness up, open eyes, find a focal point for your gaze. Lift the right leg in the air. And then fold the right ankle above the left knee as you draw the right knee back and open so the hips are square, the front side of the body. Bring hands to heart center. And now dip the left shoulder toward the right knee, keeping the hips open. This may involve a big deep bend in the left leg. Steadily move the shoulder in this twisted direction. Keeping your focal point inside and out. Untwist, press into the left foot. Lift the heart up and glide the right foot off the space of the left knee. Step down. Deep inhale. Ujjayi breath. Even exhale out. One more. Shift the weight to the right foot. Lift the left leg this time. Find the steadiness with the internal and external focus. Remember staying connected to the earth. Fold the left ankle above the right knee and draw the left knee back to open the hips. It's okay if you're more stable on one side than the other. Make no judgment. It's all about your growth, finding your expression, or not. Right shoulder moves toward left knee as you bend the legs and initiate a twist with an exhale. Remember to smile and to play. Makes everything easier. And unwind, slowly pressing into the right foot. Coming out, floating the left foot off. Big deep breath in. Sigh it out. Ujjayi breath. Even breath in and out. One more. Another balance. Shift your weight to the left foot. Raise the right again. And this time, place the sole of the right foot in a kickstand position with heel against shin, up against the inside of the shin or above the knee. In Vrikshasana or tree, once again draw the right knee back. Opening the hips. Now pressing the left foot. Lift the belly out of the hips. Lift the lower back out of the hips. Become extremely long in the spine. And if and as you like, if you're steady here and would like to expand, raise the hands. Sway the hands and arms. If you really would like a challenge, look up. Some might even close the eyes. Five more seconds. Hands come back to heart center. Raise the leg, step down. Heel toe the feet in, so they're directly underneath the hips. Inhale. Long, slow, steady exhale. Now Ujjayi breath, even in and out. Shift weight to right foot. Raise the left leg up. Feel the right leg straighten as you find strength all the way from the base of the foot up to the arch, through the shin. And then whatever way you adjusted the right leg last time, adjust the left leg this time. Just make sure not to rest the foot on the knee itself. Adjust further. Find fuller expression if it's right for you today. With the gaze, with the hands. If the hands are elevated, rotate the pinkies toward each other and perhaps begin to sway. Turn gaze up or close eyes. Play. Five more seconds. And with ease and control, set the foot down. Hands forward. A few breaths. Okay if you fall, like I almost did a few seconds ago from Vrikshasana or any balance pose. In the growth mindset, falling would be treated not as a failure that's a permanent reflection on your character, your practice, but simply an occurrence that's designed to teach. A statement of where you are at the moment and what you need to learn, and a marker for future opportunity to grow. Inhale, hands to heart center. Exhale, big deep forward fold. Hinge from the waist. Tuck the tailbone. Clench the abdomen to accomplish the fold. Let gravity do the rest of the work. Frame the feet with the hands. Bend the knees if you need to get the palms to the ground. And step back for Chaturanga. Land the heart on the floor. Press into hands, upward facing dog. Tuck toes, lift the hips. Plank. And then shoot the feet through, either to the outsides of the wrist or insides. Come to your bottom. Turn on the mat. With legs extended in Dandasana. in Dandasana. It can be very challenging, actually, especially if your hips are tight to come to an upright position. So work with the lower back. Bring the lower back up. Press into the sits bones to lift the heart up. Slightly tuck the chin. For me, it's very easy to have more of a banana back. Use your core strength to stay upright. Dandasana. From Dandasana, begin to move the back down, lifting through the back of the heart. Come all the way to the floor. Take your time getting there. Now drag the heels in, closer to the hips. Move the thighs toward each other. Again, as if there's an invisible block there. Come up onto balls of feet. Over the next 30 seconds, we'll do a few lifts that look basically like this. Thighs squeeze toward each other. Hips come all the way off the ground, backs of hands or fronts of hands. Press into the floor as you come into a crunch. And then down. I have a really creaky, noisy floor here. I'll make an adjustment for that. And continue for the next 30 seconds in this way. Only let the toes touch for an instant. Use no momentum to bring the hips up off the floor. And squeeze in toward the midline as you do so. Further the knees go toward the shoulders, the better. You may not feel this much at first, but we'll be back at it a few times in the next few minutes. Developing core strength. And it's also okay to quicken or slow the pace, depending on your need, your feeling, your self-awareness. Five more seconds. And exhale, legs all the way to floor. Lengthen the legs on the mat. Take a breath. Inhale, crunch knees again. This time lift the lower legs up to an upright position. Insteps match up. Heels push up toward the ceiling. Toes flex back toward the forehead. Walk hands up the legs from hamstrings to calves, all the way toward ankles, and lift the shoulders off the ground. For the next 30 seconds, we'll move the hands up toward the outsides of the feet. Ten seconds more. And exhale, feet toward floor. Hands down to the ground. Deep breath. Draw the knees up toward chest. Begin to rock. And then rock all the way through into a plank position, walking or jumping back. We'll hold plank for 30 seconds. If plank is too intense for you, it's okay to come down to knees. Again, notice where you are. Another position that may work for you is elbows. Either way, feel the front body lifting up toward the back body. Feel the support of the earth, the length of the spine. Five more seconds. And if knees aren't already down, bring knees down, press into hands. Come into devotional pose. If you'd like in devotional pose, make more space for the belly by widening the knees. And now reach the hands back toward ankles. Backs of hands come on the floor. Rest the heart forward. I talk about mindset a lot as a coach. But really, it's the body-mind that is the governor of our experience. And the heart, particularly, the heart set is at the center of it all, the seat of the divine in the body. This is why so many of the cues in my classes are about the heart. Press into shins, press into knees, tops of feet, and lift the heart. To seated. Seated kneel. Draw the knees in closer. After all, yoga, mindset, ultimately it's about the same thing, coming into our full power, what some call our divinity, some call the supreme self. Let the hips move over to the right. Make space for both sits bones to come into contact with the floor, or at least move in that direction. My left sits bone is always up a little bit in this position. Modify further still if you'd like by bringing this left leg out in this direction so the sits bones can come down. Raise your hands. Place the hands on either side of the right knee. And then walk the hands back so that the right hand, the knuckle of the right thumb, is down by the sacrum. You might, if you wish, place the left hand on the right thigh as a bit of a lever so that on the next exhale you can twist more deeply. Unwind. Switch the leg position. Again, if your left leg was out before, your right leg can be out now to bring the right sits bones to the floor, or keep it where it is, depending on your comfort level. Self-awareness. Reach hands up and then over the left knee. Next, exhale. Walk the hands back. Left hand towards sacrum. Perhaps the right hand stays on the thigh or moves all the way to the floor. Whatever you did on the other side. Particularly challenging here for some, me included, to keep the right quadricep muscle and the right buttock released here. Do the best you can. Anytime you become aware of something, it has a curative effect in your practice. So becoming aware of any clenching in that side of the body helps with the release. Deepening the twist. Full exhale. Inhale, unwind. Bring the legs out. Drag the heels up and in. Clasp opposite elbows, tuck chin to chest. Reset the spine. Press into sits bones, lift the chin up. Release the shins. Extend the legs out. And once again, using the strength of the core muscles, bring the upper body down to the floor. Lifting the back of the heart as you can. Try and find an even trajectory to the floor. When the back of the heart lands on the mat, give a big exhale, spread out the heels, spread out the palms, moving them away from the hips. Relax. Lift the left knee up toward the shoulder and then cradle it with the left arm. And the right hand can come to the bottom of the foot. Maybe it wraps around all the way to the top of the foot. It's a modified kind of closing pigeon pose here. Play a little bit, keeping the sacrum on the ground. Draw the heel of the left foot toward the right armpit. You might even let this left knee move away from you somewhat, especially if there's no pain in the knee. Or you can hug the whole enterprise in, drawing it closer to the chest. Exhale, release. And switch sides. Right arm comes around the right knee. Left hand to bottom of right foot. Keep an active left leg with toes facing up toward the ceiling and heel on the floor. Modify as you did on the other side if you wish. Keep balance in the body. Hatha yoga, sun and moon, is all about the balance between the sides of the body. The balance of inner and outer. The balance of the local self and the supreme self. All things in balance. Exhale, release the foot, release the leg down. Move into Shavasana. And separate the heels to the corners of the mat if you have a mat. For me, that's a distance of maybe a couple feet in between the heels. Take in a deep breath through the nose. Sigh it out the mouth. Oh, this is so peaceful, so serene. It's got to be my favorite yoga pose, Shavasana. Everyone breathe in together. And at the height of this inhale, retain the breath. Release it, exhale. Next inhale, inhale only 75%. And retain the breath as you clench your fists. Bring your elbows into the ribs. Squeeze in toward the heart. Shoulders come forward toward each other on the front side of the body. Hold the abdomen tight for 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Release it all. Inhale. Full exhale. Every time we do this inhale and exhale, tension will leave the body. The body will become warm and heavy, full of light. Inhale again, 75%, and retain the breath. Point the toes away from you. Press the heels into the floor. Move the thighs toward each other, rolling inward. And as you press into the heels, lift the hips off the ground. Hold it there. Maintain all tension for 3, 2, 1. Exhale it all the way. Hips come down to floor. Feet unflex. Thighs roll out. Release. Inhale together. Sigh it out. Last one. Inhale 75%. Retain the breath. Tense the jaw. Clamp the eyes tightly shut. If you can wiggle your ears, wiggle your ears. Maybe you find even tenseness in the scalp. Make a face. Tighten the throat. On the exhale in 5 seconds, we'll say grr. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Grr. Release. Over the next 5 seconds, the body will become completely still and utterly relaxed. 5. Feel the suppleness of your neck, the ease in your shoulders, the area around the clavicle. 4. Notice the in-breath coming in without any exertion on your part or need to breathe. Simply the body's beautiful work being done for you. 3. Notice likewise the exhale. Change of shape in the core of the body, the main cavities of the body, as you exhale and things become very light and easy. 2, the hands and feet, the backs of the hips, back of the heart, all feel rather heavy, relaxed. One, the mind feels very precise and clear, with no concerns, simply awareness of everything that is, and a surrender to the beauty of the life that you have, the body that you occupy. All is a complete peace and ease. I invite you all to come back into an awareness of the body. Consciously breathe in and out through the nose. Know that pranic energy is everywhere. Universal, free, the stuff of life you can take in at will to revitalize yourself, to refresh yourself, to renew, to keep a clear mind. Drink in the life force, the pranic energy, through the nostrils. Feel it spreading throughout the body. Helped and expedited by the exhale. And begin to move parts of the body, reawakening them gently. This may involve shifting the weight of the body from side to side, flexing and unflexing the feet, making fists and then releasing the fists, fluttering eyes and moving the head side to side. Once you feel completely restored, the body reawakened, find your way into a seated or kneeling position to close class. Take a moment to really land in this position. Hands at heart center. Elongate the spine and breathe in. On the exhale, we'll make the sound of Om together to close class. One last time, press into the sits bones, shins if you're kneeling. Lift your heart, open your eyes. My highest self to your highest self, the light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste. Have an amazing Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow night on this Facebook live stream, 5:45 p.m. MST for Manitou Meditation Immersion. We'll practice pranayama, chants, meditation practices. And then Sunday on Facebook, live stream at Sunwater Spa virtual classes for another hour and 15-minute practice of Hatha Yoga.